Alright, hello. I've returned with another YouTube video. Um, Today I'd like to talk about a recent experience I had with magic mushrooms. This is the most structured video. I look at all the notes that I took on it. You can see that. This is the most structured video that I've attempted to make. So hopefully it doesn't sound like I'm just rambling about stupid shit like I did in the other ones. And I'm also not gonna smoke any weed. Because I think the mushrooms are fulfilling the drug requirements. I don't know if there's drug requirements for my videos, but anyway, this should be interesting. Um, okay, yeah, so a couple weeks ago, today is Sunday, so yeah, I think it would have been exactly 3 weeks ago now. I took magic mushrooms with my friend Peter, about 3 grams. It was a great experience, and this video is going to be the trip report, essentially. Um, So let's get into it. Okay, so uh, the main takeaway, or the primary takeaway, I suppose you could say, um, was an idea that I've been working with for about a year now. I guess I should say I'm gonna like talk about like the kind of like philosophical insights I got from the mushroom trip, um, and so the main philosophical insight is an idea that I've been working with for about a year now, and I mentioned it in my other videos too. The idea that this is it, baby. This is the real deal. We're in it right here, right now, forever and always. Like it's kind of like mindfulness, like realizing that your world isn't, or at least shouldn't be, all in your head, all in your brain, all your thoughts, all the time. Like, your life, your reality is all around you. Like, you're in it. Like, this is the real deal. This life is more than just a read through. This is it. And that's a pretty fun and, like, happy, like, visceral realization to have. Um, Like, obviously, this is what I've been thinking about a lot recently, but when I was on the mushrooms, it was just so clear to me that I shouldn't be, like, you don't need to overthink and analyze every little aspect of your day and be constantly lost in your own thoughts like humans are so naturally inclined to do. Like, you should just experience being alive, hold on to the thrill of living, and don't get too caught up in your own head, just take it all in. Enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. Yeah. um. Okay, so I'm gonna get back to that at the end. I've got a few different thoughts here. And I'm gonna tie them all back together at the end. So I'll come back to that one. Um, but the next thought I'd like to address is um probably the most novel realization I had with the mushroom experience. Um, like I said, I've been thinking a lot about the like, this is it, baby. That I've been thinking a lot about that, but this is something that I hadn't really thought about before the mushrooms, but it was made expressly clear to me, and this is probably what I have the most to talk about. Um, so this experience taught me a lot about the nature of desire and fulfillment and happiness and contentedness. I was incredibly happy during the entire trip, which is, if you've ever done mushrooms, that shouldn't be surprising. But it was just a very happy experience, and it wasn't like bodily, like euphoria or pleasure. Like, I mean, I've never done heroin, but like I imagine that's what heroin is like. You just fucking shoot up, and then it's like, I feel like my body is so good. It's like maybe like orgasming for a couple hours or something. But that's not what mushrooms was like at all. It was more of like an um existential happiness and contentedness. Um, and I came to realize that this existential happiness and contentedness felt so natural and so pure because it was coming from a genuine place of gratitude and fulfillment for my basic needs being met. Like I knew that I was safe and in like having a good day. I was having a good day with my friend, and we were having a positive experience with the mushrooms, and it was beautiful weather outside, and we got some good food, and we were listening to good music, and it was like, and I had a roof over my head, like on a more abstract level, like I got a bed to sleep in, and a roof over my head, and enough money to feed myself, and I just knew that everything was gonna be okay. Like, I had no reason to worry about anything, and this was just such a pure a pure untethering of my anxieties and my day-to-day, moment-to-moment concerns. It allowed me to break free of those for a few. I honestly don't even know how long it was. It was hard to keep track of time, but it allowed me to just take a moment to just breathe and appreciate being alive, the thrill of living, and the the joy that I should feel for having a privileged, happy life where I don't have to worry about food and shelter. I would be okay no matter what. And that was such an amazing feeling to be so aware and so gracious of those things. Um, and so that led me to like framing it in this particular way, which was that no matter what I did, I would be fine. Because like I was thinking about a couple different things that I wanted to do on the trip. Like I wanted to play a YouTube video. I wanted to make a YouTube video on the trip. I think that would have been funny, but anyway. Yeah, I was thinking like, should I watch a YouTube video? Should I make a YouTube video? Should I watch a movie? Play a game? Play this song? Do this? Do that? And I was just sitting there like thinking about these things, but I didn't actually do any of them because I knew that like I would be happy no matter what. If I did any of those things, if I just sat there and listened to the music and enjoyed the sunshine, like no matter what I did, I would still be happy and I would still be content. And I could do those things later if I found fulfillment in them and if they made me happy too. I could also do those things, but in that moment, I was happy to just simply be, to simply listen to the music, hang out with my friend, enjoy the sunshine. That's all I needed. And no matter what I did, I would be happy. And in all likelihood, that will be true for most or all of my life. Like, everything will always be okay no matter what, forever and ever and ever. That's what I thought. Like, in all likelihood, like, I'll have food and shelter and a bed and people that care about me. Like, that will almost certainly be true for all of my life. So I just knew that forever and ever and ever, I'd be okay. um, so this got me thinking about like Buddhism, essentially. I've been talking a lot about Hinduism in these videos, and I do really like Hinduism, but this mushroom trip got me thinking about Buddhism, honestly. Um, because I know that Buddhism is about like the nature of happiness and how happiness or I suppose suffering or uncontentedness, unhappiness comes from desire and to be happy you simply need to work. I don't know. Maybe I'm like gonna misrepresent Buddhism here, but basically, my impression of it is that to be happy, you need to work against that natural drive, the desire things and want things that you don't have, and to simply be content with what you do have. And that's exactly the feeling that I was getting on this trip. And I remember thinking distinctly, like I think I said it out loud too on the trip. I said, the thing is, people want things. But you don't need things. People want things that they don't need, and then they're unhappy because they don't get what they want, but they already have what they need. um, yeah, and so that just made me think a lot about like the nature of needs versus wants. Um, and just people investing themselves so much in their wants and tying their emotional state to whether or not they get what they want and even when they get what they want, it doesn't make them happy. They just want something else. But that's not where happiness comes from. Happiness comes from gratitude and appreciation of what you have and of your needs being met. Um, so yeah, and so another idea that I touched on a minute ago already, but was my friend wrote in his notebook when we were on the mushrooms. He wrote, "Anxiety is fake. Get therapy." And I think that was a really powerful realization too. I've been doing a lot better with my anxiety in the past year since I started therapy, but um, it was still like a really insightful moment where even if I haven't been super burdened with anxiety recently, it just made me see clearly like the anxieties that I do have are like they're all in your mind, you know? It's so fake. It's like we have like this natural human thought process of wanting to or I guess we need to think about things all day long. We need to think what we're gonna do, what we're gonna eat. Like we have to have like this higher order like brain functioning to like survive and live our lives. But that doesn't need to be like a 100% process, like a 100% constant 24/7 process where every moment of every day is spent like analyzing things and like thinking about shit and like trying to like intellectualize every aspect of your life and your existence. Like that is not what you need to do in every single moment of every day. I think that stuff is important to be doing throughout your day to, keep your life running, but moment to moment your existence doesn't need that. You in your moment to moment existence, you can just simply choose to be happy and to not worry about every little detail of your life at every given moment. And that's in fact like incredibly unproductive to be doing that. What's a lot more productive is to be intentional about your thoughts and your emotions. Like you can well, you can choose in your moment to moment existence to be at least try to be happy and unburdened by anxiety and to just be appreciative of what you have and where you are. And then when you know you need to spend some more time thinking about your life and thinking about like the important stuff that you have to do, then you choose to think about that. But it doesn't need to be all the time, and it doesn't need to be outside of your control. It's 100% possible to control that. And maybe it takes some practice, but I think it's ultimately an incredibly powerful skill to be able to do that. Okay, and so this is like the final point that's going to tie it all together. Um, and I think I've talked about this a little bit in some of my other videos before. Right, the experience one, the first like philosophy video I made when I was walking through Ayuga Ravine. So the concept of experience. My friend and I were discussing this after our trip, and how all of these things you could say to somebody. I'm saying it to the camera right now, and if you haven't done mushrooms before, if you haven't had like an experience that made you directly realize and experience this yourself, then you can intellectually understand what I'm saying, and you can follow the logic of what I'm saying. But it takes a direct experience to know. There's really this differentiation in the human brain in the concept of our very consciousness of intellectual knowledge and direct experiential knowledge. And that direct experiential knowledge is key. Like that's what I was saying in my video that I simply titled experience. Like that is such an important thing, and honestly, I believe it might be one of, if not the most important elements of human existence is direct experience. You need to directly experience things for yourself to be able to grow and understand and experience life. Like, how are you going to experience life if you're not having direct experiences about the things you want to engage with in your life? You're simply trying to intellectualize them and not directly engage with them. So the 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 power of direct experience is so key. And like if I told somebody who is struggling with anxiety, like just stop being so anxious all the time and just choose to be happy, like that's one thing to just tell somebody that, but to have like a meaningful experience through like I don't like a spiritual sort of experience through like I don't know your own religion or spirituality or whatever, or through um like a psychedelic substance like psilocybin mushrooms, like or just some other meaningful experience in your life, like that's that's gonna be the key, is having that direct experience. And um, for mushrooms in particular, I yeah, for mushrooms in particular, I really see it as kind of like a coach, like a guiding hand that shows you like this is what your moment to moment existence can feel like if you choose to implement these ideas. Like if you choose to disregard your anxieties for a moment and simply be happy and just be grateful and experience that those emotions, like this is what that can feel like, and it shows you like a coach guiding your hand. Um, and it can be really difficult if you don't know what it's supposed to feel like already to have that experience, and you don't know what it's supposed to feel like to go through the muscle movements to get to that place. It can be really hard on your own. Like when I was trying to learn how to surf on my own, I could not figure it out. I knew intellectually everything I had to do, but when I had a surfing instructor there to like guide my limb movements and hold the board steady for me and show me exactly what it's supposed to be like in a controlled way, like I didn't necessarily learn anything new intellectually, but I had that new direct experience that showed me what it was supposed to be like, and then I was able to get it so much easier. Um, and my friend actually pointed out that there's an idea called the zone of proximal development for just the concept of learning things in general that's really like analogous to this, um, where you there's like three stages of learning something where the learner can't do can't do the task even with an aid, and then they can do the task with an aid with a coach, they can do it aided, and then they can do it without the aid. And that's that like that middle zone there where they can do it with the aid is such a key part of learning, and I think that it's exactly what I'm trying to say here, is that sometimes you need to have an outside influence helping you get through things, like the mushrooms. Like the mushrooms, like they don't make you happy by themselves. If you just pop mushrooms, the same day that me and my friend took the mushrooms, my other friend tried wasn't with us and also took mushrooms, just kind of randomly popped them in, and he's been going through some mental health shit recently, and he had a bad trip. He had a really bad trip, and he called me and he's like, I don't feel happy forever and ever and ever. I feel bad things. I feel sad. And I was like, no, you have to prepare. It's like it doesn't just make you happy. It helps you. It helps you realize how you can be happy, but it doesn't force you into being happy. Again, the way I feel like maybe heroin would do that, or some other kind of like just pure like pleasure euphoria drugs. Yeah, and and that same experience principle applies to the this is it baby thing. Um, like it's one thing to say like this is it, this is the real deal. We're in the world, like we're here, we're living it. This life is more than just a read through. Like it's one thing to say that, but to have this kind of experience that shows you that shows you we're in it right now, and you should be happy about that. You should be happy to be alive. Like you, sometimes you need that direct experience to like really understand that. Yeah. So that was my recent mushroom trip. Thank you for listening.